We have to film a few shows today, and I'm telling you, I'm up to here with this KetoMed. Love it. Folks, many people put it in their coffee in the morning. Don't want cream? You worry about that? Put MCT. Put good things in your coffee. Other people, Alan, by the way, Alan North, my buddy of 30 years. I knew you when you were probably 9 or 10 years old. Alan came to me years ago and said, you know, Doug, this keto stuff, I want to put myself into ketosis, but look at these shakes, look at these bars. And I said, Alan, raise some money and compete. You raised a lot of money and you had to make, I think 6 years ago, the first true keto.
Yep. I think it's still the first. I think it's still the only true keto on the market.
But you're going to see what a doctor said about the taste of this. It's just delicious. Why would I want to put myself, I'm an old guy, feel good, why would I want to put myself into ketosis as opposed to maybe a person who's 50 pounds overweight and having hypertension, etc.? It's
a superior method to losing body fat. It works better than low fat. It works better than high protein. This has been studied. They have pitted they've studied the ketogenic diet in terms of fat loss, in terms of insulin resistance. It's been proven that you can, if you're on a well-formulated, properly formulated ketogenic diet, you can reverse the symptoms of insulin resistance, reverse type 2 diabetes in as little as 10 to 12 weeks. And so KetoMed is simply a product, one of the only ones on the market, to my knowledge, that aligns with a true ketogenic antifungal diet. And so people that are using it are doing so because they might have insulin resistance, they want to lose body fat, they want more energy, they want to be able to have, maybe they're having cognitive issues as they get older. That's why they're doing it.
Years ago, Erin Porter, she wrote a book, Eat, Pray, Get Well. As a matter of fact, that's her URL. I think that's her website. Eat, Pray, Get Well. She wanted to meet you, put you two guys together. So many of you know she had sinus problems, went on the Kaufmann keto diet. She went on the Kaufmann diet, which she says very much like the keto diet. Right down there in the middle, I love this. The taste is the icing on the cake, as I discover all the time. Tastes even better than the vanilla shake I used to get in the drive-in at a fast food place I used to eat when I was unhealthy. She wrote a book, Eat, Pray, Get Well. She's on your product. Yep. You two got together, and she's doing wonderfully on KetoMed.
She loves KetoMed, and Erin is a health expert in her own right. I remember meeting her doctor, Dr. Dr. Donald Dennis.
Yeah.
And so she's like an antifungal health expert. She's not going to take a product that she doesn't believe in.
And she's smart, but this guy, Doug Farago, MD, look at what he said here.
This is one of the medical doctors that contacted us. We're getting contacted by medical doctors literally all over the country. And he told me that he had never seen a supplement like this. He's giving it to his doctor friends. And you'll see on one of his comments at the end there, for those dedicated to staying in ketosis, KetoMed emerges as a top-tier supplement, potentially the best and only one you'll need. That's an important statement, Doug, because that's how KetoMed was designed. If you look at the market, you see things that are just keto everything. There weren't even keto in the first place. You see keto protein. You got to buy keto protein separately. You got to buy keto fat separately. You got to buy so-called keto vitamins separately. You have to buy keto exogenous ketones separately. KetoMed is the only product that you need. It's the only keto product that you need. You don't need, that's why we only make one product. It's a uniquely designed product, but it's also a uniquely designed company. We only make one product.
Remember, after you developed this, you went to some friends and said, hey, I put this formula together, really trust me on this. I'm gonna put you on it for a couple of months. Next, we're gonna see one of your friends who
These are the first people, some of the first people that ever tried KetoMed before it was even available.
And they would probably, like you and I, walk into a store and buy a bar. Oh, good, it's keto.
Right.
But you're saying that name keto is like natural.
Right.
So nobody has to follow standards.
So many people, Doug, embark on a what they think is a keto product, or use what they think is a good keto product or keto program, and then they don't get results. And they say, well, gosh, keto didn't work. Okay, we're going to meet one of Alan's friends when we get right back from this short break. Always love having Alan North on this show. He is the founder of KetoMed. Folks, very, very important company. Everybody ought to have one of these at home. Get your cup of joe in the morning, right? If you're on the Kaufmann 2 diet, scoop of that. The scoop's in there. Instead of cream, see how your coffee tastes. Or
sick people, people who want to lose weight. More and more on television, what you see today is lose 5 pounds of fat, your first week on the diet. So why are people following, why are they putting themselves into ketosis and following the KetoMed formula?
Well, I'll give you a visual. This is a 5-pound fat replica. This is what body fat looks like on the body. And to answer your question, Doug, they're doing it because this right here, when it's attached to your body and stored on your body, and that's what happens when insulin raises, you eat too much. Carb toxicity causes this. That's why people are on using KetoMed. That's why people are embarking on nutritional ketosis, to get rid of this very stubborn body fat. And this is only a 5-pound replica. This is truly what 5 pounds, it looks like it would be more like 40 pounds. But this is what 5 pounds of body fat. And once it gets stored, Doug, it is incredibly difficult to get rid of it. And that's why people are using a keto diet.
I remember you. When you came in 7 years ago to talk to me, you were overweight.
Right.
And then you went on your own formula. What about Courtney? Tell me a little bit about Courtney.
Courtney ended up gaining weight, and she there's the
a friend of yours.
The before photo right there, and she ended up gaining 40 pounds. And she had done yo-yo dieting, and she was always pretty thin. She's about 5'2", weighs usually around her normal body weight's about 105 pounds. There she's about 140. And so she went on KetoMed, and look at the difference there. And that is a difference of about 10, 12 weeks. Wow. That's not a lot. I mean, and I always like to look at there's another, you could see that's a huge difference. Like, she stripped the body fat off of her body by using KetoMed and following it in conjunction with actually a mild ketogenic diet. Doug, to your point earlier, she was on the Kaufmann 2 diet. Okay, that's not necessarily a ketogenic, but it's still a low-grain, low-carb diet. So KetoMed can be used in conjunction with a ketogenic diet, but it can also be used as part of any healthy low-carb diet. She used it with with Kaufmann 2.
How does one use this? In other words, I talk about putting it in my coffee, right?
So
I'm an old guy, I feel pretty good. What about if I have chronic migraines? Print the page, take this to your doctor, ketomed.com, and say, look, for a month, I want to put myself into ketosis. Is that dangerous?
It's not dangerous. It's a natural process. It's only dangerous to the extent that somebody starves themselves and then they wind up in something that's called starvation ketosis. But when you embark on a properly formulated ketogenic diet, or you're using KetoMed, you're going to be in a healthy nutritional ketosis, where our bodies are designed to fuel off of both glucose and ketones. In fact, science is saying that ketones, when you go into nutritional ketosis, that's like they're calling it the 4th macronutrient. They're calling it a super fuel. And you feel so good when you're on, you have energy, you can think cognitively, you're cognitively clear, and then you start losing body fat. What I always like to say, Doug, one of the most common questions we get, Doug, is when am I going to see results? And this is an anecdotal answer. We're going by feedback that we get from your audience. What we like to say is, by the time you're finished with your first bottle, and that's a 30-month, it's a full 30-day supply. By the time you're finished with your first bottle, you should notice, feel the difference, see the difference results. And that's why people reorder this. This is an 80% reordered product. People use it, they see the difference after a month, and then they keep using it.
Folks, some of you will want to go on this program to lose weight, lose body fat, and so forth. It really works. Many, dare I say, hundreds of publications. Ketogenic diet is now being studied. Remember, hospital-driven 100 years ago, children with epilepsy were being healed with a ketogenic diet. It was starving fungus. I think the hospital was moldy, but that's a whole other story. Today, if you have symptoms from head to toe, to which you're running from doctor to doctor to doctor, maybe weight is one of the problems, please talk to him or her about giving, like Alan said, 30 days, 1 canister of this, and watch how you feel.
And all you're doing is 1 shake a day in conjunction with regular food. Give it 30 days, you'll see a huge difference.
Congratulations on your success. Glad to see you today.